Well, Higher Education Minister Blade Nzimande says no institutions are considered high risk at the moment. He's just finished giving an update on their attempts to keep COVID-19 at bay. He joins us now live. Minister, thanks for your time. We appreciate it. So you're pretty confident everything's under control and students can go back to universities and other institutions?
Yes, good afternoon, Shahan. Thanks for inviting me. Yes, we are indeed confident. We have put in a lot of work as the department in engaging institution by institution in terms of readiness. But also we must say that we also appreciate the cooperation that we have found from the university management, the administrative staff, the workers, and the students as well, to make sure that our institutions are safe for them to be able to return.
Yeah. So when it comes to international students, you also say they can return, but we do know that the National Coronavirus Command Council is going to give an update on these international travel restrictions and easing thereof. Is there any particular countries that you're concerned about receiving students from?
Well, I can't answer that one because there we will be guided by the Department of Health, which will actually give us a list of countries. At the moment, what I'm aware of is that it seems like for most of the African countries, we do not have a problem. And more than 60% of our foreign students, by the way, come from the African continent, and more so from the SADC region. So we will actually be guided by them, but they are now free to return, which is very important for them because some of them could not even return when we called for the first 1/3 of students and the second 1/3 of students, because there was no means of transportation to South Africa.
Yeah. So let's talk a bit more about this 100% capacity. You can take all students back at universities. How does the screening process work, given the thousands that are going to be lining up to get into institutions?
You know, fortunately, Shahan, we have got a very, very good organization that was voluntarily formed by the higher education sector some few years ago, which is called Higher Health. Higher Health has actually trained more than 12,000 volunteers, and it's got volunteers not just in each institution, but in each campus. For instance, we've got 50 TVET colleges with 270 campuses. There are volunteers who are trained in each campus, both students and staff, who are actually dealing with this matter. But also the latest development, which you might have seen, which I launched when I was in Ulundi some 2 weeks ago, was our mobile primary health clinic, which would be dedicated exclusively to particular districts that are underserved, just serving university students as well as TVET college and community college students, in order to be able at least to act as the very first front line in screening as well as in identifying people who may actually be in danger.
Yeah. Now, obviously, like with primary schools as well as high schools, you have some students and parents who are still too scared, worried about their health to attend classes. You'll have the same thing at tertiary institutions. How do you deal with that? How do you support those who are not willing to come back to class?
Well, our view, our approach is that those who feel that they've got adequate means for learning and teaching by not coming to class, that's fine, because it makes life easier insofar as managing the numbers in our institutions. But those who do not have ways and means for effective learning and teaching, we really do encourage them to actually go back to campuses. The indication so far is that the response is fairly positive, although there are students who have not returned, and we guess that the majority of them are possibly those who have connectivity, who can be able to actually continue with their work away from being full-time on campus.
And how do you finalize this academic year, given that it's so delayed?
It is a huge challenge. As I outlined today, different institutions will be finishing at different times. If I'm not mistaken, about 10 of the institutions will be finishing their the 2020 academic year this year, and the rest will be finishing, which means the other 16 will be finishing at different times between January and March 2021. Of course, this also has got a lot to do with the capacity, historical inequities that we still have in our own institutions. And of course, unfortunately, part of the delay has been inability to actually get the laptop devices or tablets on time, because that will also have improved quite significantly the issue of accessibility to learning and teaching by students.
And what about concerns, Minister, from students who perhaps will go back to lectures but feel that they're still not safe, that proper measures are not in place? Who do they raise their concerns with? Because this is bound to happen, right?
It is bound to happen, you are right. But as I have said, in each institution we've got COVID-19 teams. Right, starting from management, who must form, we've insisted, senior management must have a COVID-19 prevention or management team that deals with the situation. And we've also got volunteers in all of our institutions. And also we've got this wonderful app by Higher Health where you can screen yourself even where we are seated there. By just answering 5 or 6 questions, it will then be able to tell you whether we are at risk or you are potential risk, and so on. So that has actually helped us a lot with the training that has been given to ensure that at least we are able to screen very, very effectively and also are able to respond fairly quickly to those who actually have got a virus, who are at least symptomatic.
Yeah. Hope you get it right. Thank you so much for your time. Appreciate it. Higher Education Minister Blade Nzimande.